My name is Harmony, and this is OrgonizeEarth. Well, I've always been involved in the art and healing arts. I'm a licensed massage therapist and certified auricular acupuncturist. So, and because I love art and everything I do in my life is for art, so I wanted to make products that would be beneficial to my practice and to other people's spiritual healing. So that's what Orgonite is, and the name Orgonize Earth comes from the term Orgonite, which is what this art is. Orgonite is a specific tool, I like to call it, that mixes crystals with metal and a resin. So if you're familiar with crystal energy and what they do, they come from the earth, and then metal is a conductor of energy, even crystals. So oftentimes you would see crystals wrapped in metal, like a copper or something like that. Well, this is taking that a step further by encasing it into a resin. Creates this whole unit that's kind of always on and always working. So what it is exactly is a great tool for anything you need in life, really. It could be like a good luck charm. A lot of people see it as that. It's great for grounding or clarity. I use it in my massage practice. People use it for meditation and for prayer. Yeah, and just like in their daily lives, it's great for kind of keeping good energy in, amplifying good energy, and keeping bad energy out, whatever that means to you. I'm finding more and more people are becoming keen on crystal, and crystal magic is what they call it. And Orgonite is just kind of taking it a step further. People have been using crystals for eons. They've also been using metals for a really long time. Like people in ancient Egypt wearing copper jewelry to protect from evil spirits, stuff like that. When you combine those two, it's just amazing. And so I find a lot of people that already know about crystals and metal. Not that many people know about the Orgonite specifically, so it's been an amazing learning process for me and for the people that I meet. This process takes in total about a week. I would say 1 day of preparation. If I have a custom order or if I'm just designing them, so making sure I have all of my crystals, all of my metals. I use a lot of copper braids and spirals, so I have to cut those and make all of those. I also make all my own clasps for my earrings and for my necklaces, so I make those. So all of that takes, maybe about 3-4 hours, depending on how big a batch I'm going to make. When I'm actually making the Orgonite for that day, the prep takes about an hour, getting all the tables out, all my gloves and masks, because resin can tend to be a little toxic and messy. So all of my stir spoons, all of that stuff takes about an hour or so. And then pouring everything into a mold, because the resin takes about 15 minutes before it starts to dry, I have to pour it really quickly. A lot of the work that I do is multi-layered. So here's one half an hour block, another half an hour block, another half an hour block. So the actual making of it can take about 3 hours, give or take. And then it's got to harden completely. And that process, depending on the weather, can take 2 to 3 days. Then I pop it out of the mold, let it sit right side up for another day or so because the fumes are still a little toxic. So that takes about 3 days, and then I've got to sand them down and polish them, get them all nice and neat. Take some pictures, and then they go online or they go to your local retail store. Sometimes I have a job, sometimes I don't. It depends on how serious I decide to get with my art. I recently quit a job like maybe 6 months ago, so I've been focusing a lot on doing this and making sure I'm able to sustain myself, which isn't exactly easy because I'm doing all of it. So all of the ordering, all of the making, all of the photographs, all of the PR, all of, all of that stuff. I've never really been into graphic design, and I design all my own flyers and business cards and promotional events, so I've definitely acquired that skill. Um, Graphic design. Also, just being able to speak to different people in a way that's not going to turn them off to this hippy dippy stuff. Because it is artistic and that's beautiful, so sometimes I have to figure out different ways to sell it. If I'm going to like the more holistic spiritual person, then as soon as you say crystals, they're all about it. For someone else, that might not be the case. So I'm learning to like gauge people differently to see if they're interested and to get them interested in different ways. I would just say go for it. Go for it. Find other people that are interested in this as well, or do that similar kind of art. Meet them, ask questions, go online, do research, learn the ins and outs, but go for it, make your mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. If it's something you are interested in and enjoy doing, then go for it. Do it. Yeah, I mean, art, it's a love-hate relationship, especially if you're, going to try to make a living out of it or feed yourself in some sort of way. People put a lot of pressure on themselves to make something that they think is sell-worthy. It's definitely going to be costly. It can be expensive because of this resin. If it doesn't harden all the way, then it's ruined. I learned that I have to make it at specific times during the year to keep the temperature up so that it can dry. And I was making some during winter time and ruining batches completely. Finding the right kind of resin I wanted to use took a lot of work, epoxy versus polyester versus yada yada yada. I definitely have lost a lot of money making it, but I've grown in the process and have been able to develop my specific style, which is great, and start to really enjoy the pieces that I make, and they become a part of me. They're like my little babies, because I put so much time and energy into them, and learning and researching and all this stuff, But definitely make mistakes and don't be afraid to. I think artists can appreciate like the time and effort that it takes to go into any piece. So having that support right off the bat is really great. Like, I know how hard you worked on this, whatever it is, So that's been really great from all artists. And then also because artists can appreciate, you know, the aesthetical beauty of all art. So that's also super rewarding, because they recognize the hard work that you put into it and that it came out beautifully. So it's been great. You can find OrgonizeEarth on Etsy. We have a Etsy page for OrgonizeEarth. I'm also located at several different like crystal and metaphysical shops. Mostly is where you can find us. In Atlanta, there's Crystal Blue in Little Five Points, and we're also in different places in Florida. We're at the Florida School of Massage bookstore. We're at Otter and Trout in Gainesville. We are also in, Fire and Ink in Tampa. OrgonizeEarth, yay!